following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
It was awesome. I mean, that stadium was rocking. It was packed. It was not the best game, but we definitely saw some action.
Well, you did see some action. They'll go back to Philly today. Game 6 National League Championship Series with the Phillies up 3-2 after taking Game 5 in Phoenix on Saturday night. And then the Astros get beat last night 9-2 by the Rangers. Is that the final 9-2, I think was the number, right? And they'll play Game 7. Game 7. El final. It's all on the line. Win or go home. Back to the wall. All or nothing. You know, pick it. I don't pick your cliche. They'll do that tonight, and the winner goes to the World Series. All right, pick a highlight off. Where you want to start? You want to start college football? You want to start with the pros? Pick a highlight. What do you like?
Goodness, well, you were talking about Mr. 300 and Bill Belichick. And
how about that?
This league, and there's still so many results like that. You look at a team that you best start taking them seriously because you always want to find a way, because they do that to themselves at times, to keep them out of the conversation.
The Bills?
How about the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, there were a number of statements yesterday. The Ravens and the Eagles made statements. Those were the two biggest games, right? Right. So those were the two biggest opportunities to make statements, right? You asked last Thursday, Friday, what were your two favorite games? I told you those are the two. The Ravens made a statement beating back the Lions. Like a absolute, all right, y'all want to laugh at us. You want to tell me my quarterback's inconsistent. You want to tell us our defense isn't good. How good boom. I mean, the Ravens were phenomenal. And then the Eagles with the Dolphins last night. I told you I thought the Dolphins would win because I thought the Dolphins were playing better now. And I think I told you at the end, I think the Eagles are better, and in the long term, the Eagles are going to be better, but I just thought the Dolphins were clicking wrong. Eagles are better now, and Eagles, I think, will be better then. And the Dolphins, this is a who have you beat? And I hate that conversation sometimes, but it came out last night. Who have they beaten? And, well, who have they beaten? They didn't beat the Eagles.
They did not.
Did I lose every bet again, by the way? I think I did. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah, and for Miami, you saw some of the struggles on the interior of the offensive line. They couldn't run the football like they wanted. They actually used a lot of their passing action off of their run game. And for Tua late, they had the miscommunication in their routes, bad looking interception. in the second half, and it's just more of the same from Philadelphia. That's a team that they beat good teams. Jalen Hurts has a fantastic record. They know how to get it done in big situations, and you saw it once again last night.
Yeah. All right, we're here for you today. A lot to do, a lot to go through, a lot to unpack. 505-246-0610. That's your emails. That's your phone and your text line, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com. JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. On the X, it's _ JJ Buck. Watch us on the Facebook. We're there. Adrian's producing live on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico, I believe, and on our on YouTube channel for ProView Networks on our Facebook page. All right, Saturday night was a lot more enjoyable, huh? You got to do a post-game show for a winning football team, a home win in the Mountain West Conference for the first time in a long time, and Lobos look like a football team on Saturday night. You can tell me how bad Hawaii was, and we'll have this conversation. But it
doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter when you haven't won a conference game in 14 games.
I'm with you.
When you have not won a home Mountain West Conference game since 2017.
Yep.
You beat someone 42-21. That's solid work.
And you went out and beat them, and you looked good on both sides of the football. I thought that Dylan was super efficient, 20 for 25, 202 yards, didn't turn the ball over, 3 touchdowns. Andrew Henry was the guy that was billed, right? This was the guy that we heard they got in the transfer portal when he came over from Louisiana Monroe, and this was that running back that, wow, okay, that's that dude. Was Sherrod White hurt too? I don't know either. We'll ask Danny. Danny Gonzalez will be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. But I thought defensively they did a good job. They got after Braden Shager. They forced him to throw 3 interceptions. How about getting 3 interceptions? Well, for a team that
4 turnovers,
had no interceptions. Am I going to tell you they're a great team? I'm not going to tell you they're a great team. I'm going to tell you they look like a good football team on Saturday night.
They put 4 quarters of football together. The athletes in the secondary made plays. They put some pressure on an opposing quarterback. They had consistent football for a while. In the second half, they had a big enough cushion that when they didn't sustain a drive, guess what? They got an interception. And that's what you want. And the ebbs and flows of a football game is to have some balance. And for New Mexico, they went out there, did that, had the very consistent offense. You look at the scoring drives, they're putting 6, 7, 8, 9 plays together. Defense making plays, and everyone needed that moment on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Now, is it a blip? Do you think that's the start of something? I listened to a little of you and Ned on the way home from the game, and there was good excitement. He saw what he wanted to see finally, right? I mean, it was good. They're going to play a Nevada team now that just snapped a 14-game losing streak. That beat San Diego State 6-0 Saturday night. Did you watch any of that?
Yes, I did.
Ugly. That was a rough watch. Not just because that's my alma mater. That was a rough watch of a football game. San Diego State's offense is horrible. I'd like to believe New Mexico's offense is better than what I watched San Diego State. So they're going to they're going to be better against them. I got to believe that, right? I mean, they're horrible.
Well, this stretch, the Lobos going into Nevada, coming out 4-4, I think you can expect that. Nevada is the same thing. They just snapped a crazy long overall losing streak.
14 games. Yep, that was the longest in the country.
They actually have more questions offensively than the Lobos do. Defensively, you still want to see it more often if you're New Mexico to get that confidence.
Yeah.
But this is a very winnable game in Reno on Saturday night.
Yeah, with an opportunity to get to 4-4, and then, I mean, who knows what momentum means, right? But then UNLV comes in. UNLV escaped Colorado State 25-23 on Saturday and squeaked out a victory there. And so who knows, right? Who knows? Does this get marked on the list as, it does, it has to, one of those weeks where both the Aggies and Lobos won?
They did.
They and this doesn't happen very often, right? JJ did this exercise, I want to say it was last year. I said, how many, we talk to, Lobo football coaches and Aggie football coaches every week. How many weeks do you think, we've been doing this show 15 years. How many times do you think the Aggies and the Lobos had won in the same week? And was it single, like one hand?
Yeah.
Right? It was like 5 or right in that area. So this counts as one of those weeks. So good week around here. Is that Med or Mud or Ned or Mud? Okay, Mud. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Mud?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. What a wonderful day. What a stud performance by the Lobo football team. Defense and offense, both running on cylinders. What can you ask for more, man? I mean, it was a great atmosphere. I wish there was more fans in the stands, but hey, with the more wins, I think you will put the fans in the stands. And I was going to ask you a question, Jeff. How would you guys like if the Lobos were to make the bowl thing? Would it be New Mexico State, and New Mexico Bowl? Do you know anything about that? What's up, man? I would like to see that, man.
I think
rematch this year.
Yeah, I've heard people ask me if they want to see it. I think they both got to get eligible first, and we have a conversation. Typically, you don't rematch. Teams don't play rematches. Typically, there's no rule against it, but typically you don't play rematches. And Mud, thanks for the call. I mean that's I've been asked that a lot. Neither one's bowl eligible yet. One's 3-4, one's 5-3.
Yeah.
New Mexico State has to win 7. And I've had a lot of Aggie fans. Hey, we need one more. And are we in? And I'm like, whoa. First of all, no matter what John Schifrin said on ESPN the other night, you need 2 more. 6 is not eligible. You play 13 games. You got to be 7 wins. So get the 2 more, and then let's have the conversation. But I've been asked that a lot. There is no written rule that says they cannot play against each other. Okay. Now, typically teams don't want to play rematches. Would they want to do that again? I don't know. Let's if and when we have that situation, let's discuss that situation, right?
Yeah, still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Danny Gonzalez is going to be with us coming up at 8:00 this morning. Looking forward to have a conversation with him after what was a good football win. And if you want to get in on the Lobos, you can. They threw for 202 yards. They ran for 227 yards. They held Hawaii to 58 yards rushing. Braden Shager got his. I think he got some of it late. But just a good, solid performance, and they needed that. And can they turn that into something and bounce this thing back? We're here for all of it. New Mexico United's playoff run ends in Sacramento 1-0. They got beat by the Sacramento Republic. Lobo women's basketball started last night, an exhibition. JJ will tell you about that. Lobo women's soccer played yesterday. They had a lot going on. We got the baseball as well. But when we come back, what was the biggest game of the day yesterday? Was it last night? Was it midday? I'll tell you which one that one was. And then we'll get winners and losers a little bit later on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Lamar Jackson finished with his second most passing yards and threw 3 touchdowns. That was the first time since week 3 of last season he threw for 3 touchdowns. He had a big day. If he's on your fantasy team, you know about it. If you played against him, you know about it. Baltimore was good yesterday, 38-6. So if you want to overreact to 1 week, which we tend to do, all of a sudden Baltimore might be, I don't know, are they the second best team in the AFC? All of a sudden you look at them. Look at the AFC North. Look at the week that the AFC North just had and realize, holy smokes, they're really good too. Everybody won. And how did the Rams get hosed? Did you see the end of that?
Yeah.
And somebody told me, well, you know, timeout management's part of the game, and you got to have timeouts left. And that was so bad. Now, I'm not telling you I think they were going to march down the field and score, although I think they might have, but they didn't get that chance. That was a horrible, horrible spot. But Pittsburgh won. Biggest win: Pittsburgh at the Rams, Cleveland holding off Indianapolis, or was the other, or the Ravens beating the tar out of the Lions.
Not even close.
Right? That's the Ravens, right?
It's the Ravens.
Yeah. Statement game, right?
It was a gigantic
I think they may end up being my biggest winner of the week because of what the game meant, who they beat, how they beat them, And for the first time, it felt like both offensively and defensively, they put something together. The Ravens looked legit yesterday.
It was the best game I've ever watched with Lamar Jackson.
That's probably right.
Yeah. He was in control of the offense. He was making plays downfield. He was controlling the running game. And this is a good Detroit football team. Yeah. Detroit's going to be good the rest of the way. And these moments happen. And they're reminders of how hard it is to win in that league. Because Jared Goff and the Lions offense looked lost.
Do you think that's... did they unlock something there?
I think it's a reminder of when we talk about the Baltimore Ravens, that is a defense that it doesn't matter who they play, the numbers are real. And there's elements that we have to be honest. When you look at schedules and who you've beaten and how high we put you and how awesome you're looking, that Ravens defense is good regardless.
So they've given up 16 to the Titans, 10 to the Steelers, 3 to the Browns. I mean, the most points they gave up was in that they gave up 24 in that Week 2 win against the Bengals. You know, we want to say the Browns defense is the best, and they gave up, 38 yesterday to Gardner Minshew. Mm-hmm. And they're really good. Yeah. And Myles Garrett is beyond insane, right? But I don't know, week to week, who's the best defense in the league? Baltimore's got to be up there, right?
No doubt.
I'll take Cleveland on a week-to-week basis. But what Baltimore's done, and again, they haven't played a high-powered offense yet, I don't think. I mean, the Texans in week 1 with a rookie quarterback wasn't that. The Bengals, Joe Burrow was hurt. Colts, Browns, Steelers, Titans. The Lions were high-powered. That was the first high-powered offense they played. Now they get the Cardinals, Seahawks, Browns, Bengals coming up. You ready to bury the Chargers yet? Yes?
Yes.
That was a head nod.
Yes, we can bury the Chargers.
Okay. All right. The Chargers are 2-4, a half game ahead of the Broncos. And they're in a stretch right now where they got beat by the Chiefs. They get the Bears this week. But then they get the Jets, the Lions, the Packers, the Ravens. I don't know what to make. I don't know why. And I guess I do know why, but I don't know why. Is it all about Brandon Staley? Is it all about coaching? Or is it time to look at Justin Herbert and say, all right, young fella, like it's time for you now to become what we think you're supposed to be? No?
No.
Okay.
Because they have the worst defense in the league with a defensive coach.
It's really bad.
And you can say, we know it. It's wins-loss records. You want to see better performances. But Justin Fields is not a dude that is...
Justin Herbert.
Excuse me. Justin Herbert's not a dude that's not someone that can win games. Like, I just don't feel that way. I think this is what's going to happen is people are going to do what you're doing. Like, we need to question Justin Herbert. He's not that good. He's not this dude. And then you get him out of the Chargers, and he's going to go win a Super Bowl.
I think he's sensational, but he's not. And so when you say he's not that dude who can just win games, that's everything we thought he was, isn't it? I mean, it's... Is Jalen Hurts that dude? Is Patrick Mahomes that dude? I don't know, how many dudes are there like that? I mean, are there? I get it, there's not many. Right? He's got Keenan Allen, and he's got Austin Eckler, and there's weapons there. They should score more than 17. Now, I'll give Kansas City a lot of credit. I think defensively, what Kansas City has done this year is probably the most untalked about thing in the National Football League, because not only are they 6-1 and they lost a 1-point game on opening night to the Lions, but you want to talk about defense as well? They give up. They have not given up this season more than 20 points in a game.
Yeah, it's always been the most underrated thing with Kansas City because of
they haven't been
Mahomes.
that good. Their defense is good this year. Their defense has been okay in the past. They've had blemishes. This year, their defense is good. You don't think they're better this year?
I think Kansas City's defense is always underrated.
Fair.
Because of Patrick Mahomes.
Because their offense is so explosive. Yeah. Let me just give it to you. You up 17 to the Chargers, 8 to the Broncos, 20 to the Vikings, 20 to the Jets, 10 to the Bears, 9 to the Jaguars. And they give up that 21. That was the one time they lost 21-20. Their defense is good. Here come the Broncos. By the way, you got to win. How you feeling about that? You got to win. You want to question someone? How are we doing with Jordan Love?
Not great. 4 straight games with an interception. Offense couldn't get going. The Broncos defense has actually made strides.
I agree.
The last couple weeks. Because when you look at the yards per game, because of some of the earlier performances, they've still given up the most yards per game in the NFL. Number 2 is the Chargers. Chargers have the worst passing defense in the NFL.
Insane. It's insane. All right. 505-246-0610. So you had 6 teams off. So you had 3 less games than you might normally have on a Sunday, and it was still pretty entertaining. Did you guys watch the Steelers-Rams game?
Yep.
All right. I need a non-Rams fan view of what happened at the end of that game.
They missed the call.
I mean, brutal, right? It wasn't that close.
Kenny Pickett was short of the first down.
It wasn't that close. I didn't hear what Sean McVay said afterwards. I just walked away. I didn't even put on my new Rams. That's what it was. I got a new Rams, like a button, almost like a Hawaiian shirt for my birthday. I forgot to pull it out of the pack. I played golf in the morning and then was going to put it on. I'm like, well, I didn't. Yeah, they just missed the call. Puka Nacua, by the way, 8 catches, 154 yards. He's still a factor with Cooper Kupp there. He is still a factor with Cooper Kupp there. They ran the ball for 135 yards, split it between Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson. They put Kyren Williams on the injured reserve list. So that's at least 4 weeks without the guy who's become the number 1 back. I was thinking of this yesterday, the conversation we've had all the time. It's the exact reason running backs don't get paid money, isn't it? I mean, it's the exact reason.
Yes, it is.
When, you got a guy who came out of nowhere, who gave you 4 or 5 solid weeks, and you shelve him and bring 2 guys in off the street. I mean, literally, right? Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson, and between them, they give you 120 yards, 127 yards, and you probably paid them, lunch money? That's why, honestly, that's why running backs don't get paid.
That's why you don't get the bag.
Thank you.
Because you can find someone that can do it. It's nice when you have that dude.
Yeah. But he's going to get hurt. But he's going to get hurt.
Probably going to get nicked up, probably going to miss some time. So just focus on the running game instead of the running back.
At some point, he's going to get hurt. Look, what's the name of the game? Hit the guy with the ball, right? The guy's got a ball in his hand 30 times a game. He's getting hit a lot. Dudes who get hit tend to get hurt, right? I mean, it's just common sense. It's unfair. It's unjust. It's a bummer for them. But I just couldn't help but think of it yesterday. I was watching that. All right, Williams is out. That's a bummer. They bring in 2 guys. Darrell Henderson was what? I mean, he was selling insurance last week, wasn't he? Royce Freeman was on the practice squad. Darrell Henderson wasn't. Was he?
No.
He was like...
They're like, remember Darrell? He ran for us for a little bit. You want to give him a call?
Dude's still in town. He just hit me up the other day. Want to go to the club.
Yeah.
I know. He's still really? What kind of shit? Did he look good? Yeah, man, he looked good. All right, bring him in. Let's see. Darrell, you want to play? How much you got? League minimum. All right. I mean, league minimum's good money, right? If you're out in the real world, league minimum's good money. Darrell Henderson got you a touchdown yesterday. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Don't look now. You see who's at the top of the NFC South? Yeah, them guys. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report brought to you by Sandia Area Federal Credit Union.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. Hey, boys and girls.
Series, huh, in the American League? Mitch Garver yesterday, 3 for 4, hit the home run, had a couple of RBI, and his Rangers are now tied with Alex Bregman's Astros, and one of them's going to the World Series after tonight. Boys from the Burke are having a ball series. I'll tell you that right now. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. You want to do an early edition of the Red Zone? Is that what you're feeling today?
I'm feeling it.
Like you got it out early, and all right. Well, let's go 7:30 into the Red Zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this thing.
You're in the Red Zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's 1st and goal.
All right, we're going to go full Clint Eastwood this morning in what I'd like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly edition of Red Zone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two of the headlines from 2 games in each down. Pick one or both of them and tell me what you thought was good, bad, and ugly from that game. So let's start out with the Bills. The Bills fall to 4-3 after they lose in Foxborough to the 1-win Patriots. Bills 25, Patriots 29. Cleveland wins a wild one in Indy after 8 lead changes. Browns 39, Colts 38.
So what am I doing?
Just pick one or both those games. Tell me the good, bad, and ugly you found in that game.
Well, all right. So, you want me to take the first game? I'll take the first game. What was good? New England was good. New England was good for the first time and played a full game. Bill Belichick got his 300th win. He can still coach. Oh, look at that. He didn't forget how to coach football. He can still coach football. The bad was turning the ball over in the Buffalo Bills, and the inconsistency. And I don't know what was ugly. I guess it's an ugly loss when you lose to a 1-win team. I mean, that's what's ugly.
The good was Myles Garrett. He had one of the most unbelievable performances you'll see from a defensive end, and pretty much won that game by himself with his turnovers, setting up 17 points or 10, at least 10 points for the Cleveland Browns. He was all over the place. This is a Cleveland team that watched Deshaun Watson come back, start the game, and then go down after 5 plays, potential concussion issue. And P.J. Walker comes in there. They get a big run from Jerome Pope early in the game. Kareem Hunt on 4th and goal scores a go-ahead touchdown. That was the good for Cleveland because somehow, some way, they found a way.
2nd and goal.
The Atlanta Falcons improved to 4-3 and sit atop the NFC South after kicking a game-winning field goal in Tampa Bay. Falcons 16, Buccaneers 13. The Eagles make a statement at home versus the Dolphins in a battle of one-loss teams. Philadelphia 31, Miami 17.
Well, let's start with the good, and that's Atlanta has a field goal kicker. Younghoe Koo is setting up, hitting the game-winning field goal. What you just read in the headline. The ugly is the fact you had 3 red zone fumbles. Desmond Ridder fumbled the ball 3 times in the red zone, and Tampa Bay still could not win that game. This was what we call the Arthur Smith special. Bijan Robinson under the weather, whether he's a decoy, doesn't do anything, upsets fantasy owners all over the place. And they turn the football over, and somehow they win a division game? Yes, they did.
Eagles and Dolphins are good as the Eagles. The good is just the Eagles. They're good. They're the NFC champions, reigning NFC champions, and because they haven't been blowing people out, people want to put somebody else ahead of them, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Niners. The Eagles are still the team to beat in the NFC. The good is what they did. Their quarterback is sensational. They ran the ball. Their defense was good. The bad was the rushing game of the Miami Dolphins. They ran for 45 years, that vaunted running game. Now, granted, they got one dude on injured reserve, and they were playing from behind, but they got to run. This is a team that we talk about, it's a track meet. They've got all these superstars. They run up and down the field. They ran the ball for 45 yards. Raheem Mostert, 9. They only had 12 runs. Of all their plays, they only ran the ball 12 times. And the ugly might be the way that the Dolphins built themselves up, and I know this has been brought about, but who did they beat? The Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Giants, and the Panthers. They're not good teams, and they play 2 teams that you consider to be good, and they've lost by multiple scores, both to the Bills and to the Eagles.
3rd and goal.
The Baltimore Ravens dominated home versus the Lions. Ravens 38, Lions 6. Broncos get a late interception to seal the win at home versus the Packers. Denver 19, Green Bay 17.
Well, the good was the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. He was sensational. In fact, he was better than good. 357 yards. JJ said it earlier. It might be the best game that we've ever seen Lamar play. He was in control. He was under control. He didn't just run out of the pocket. There were a couple plays where Lamar, the pass, would have just tucked it and run, right? And the patience that he had to stay in the pocket, to create. They were good offensively, defensively. The bad was the Lions, and again, running the football. You've got to win, and you can't abandon the run. And Jamar Gibbs was okay, but they ran the ball for 84 yards. They've got to run the football. Jared Goff was brought back to reality, and he was fine. I don't know. What was ugly about it? The score, 38-6. You walk out of there, and you get run out of the built by 32 points. That's flat out ugly.
The good for the Denver Broncos is the defense has showed up the last 2 weeks. They played a tight game against Kansas City. Everyone thought, hey, it's the Broncos. Your Packers are going off. Not the case at all. Vance Joseph has made some changes. He simplified things on defense. And sometimes in football, that's a good thing. Not everything has to be this exotic play call that lasts 38 seconds and this and that. Just go play football. And the Broncos have simplified things on the defensive end. They made life hard on the Packers. They really didn't get going until the third quarter. Only scored 2 touchdowns. Broncos got a late interception, which helped seal that game. That was the good. And the bad, that's 4 straight games and an interception from Jordan Love. And this is an offense that you want to see take steps forward. There's young talent across the board. Aaron Jones was back in the lineup, and they could not get going against the Denver Broncos.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
The Pittsburgh Steelers score late to beat the Los Angeles Rams. Steelers 24, Rams 17. The Kansas City Chiefs and LA Chargers started fast, then the Chiefs took over in the second half. Chiefs 34, Los Angeles 17.
Well, I'll take the Rams from you. And I'll go with the good, and that's a healthy offensive attack from the Steelers. It took them 2 quarters to ramp up because at halftime the Steelers just had 3 points and 91 yards, but in the second half they scored 3 touchdowns on 3 of their 4 drives. They had 210 yards of offense in the second half, including 191 yards in the fourth quarter. And Kenny Pickett, he is what he is, man. He's not going to be more than this, but he's a guy when he has his full complement of players. When you see Pickens out there with Deontay Johnson, you see Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, and they're rotating the run game. That's an effective offense in the Steelers. And the bad is the refereeing. He missed a call on a 4th and 1 quarterback sneak. Kenny Pickett came up short, so the Rams should have at least had a chance to tie the game.
Kansas City and the Chargers, the good was Kansas City's defense. They're really good. Held another opponent to under 20 points. In all their wins this year, all 6 of them, they've been 20 or less. They gave up 21 in their 1 loss. Their defense is legit. They turned Justin Herbert over twice. They got to him 5 times, sacked him 5 times. Their defense, I mean, look, we know Travis Kelce is really good. We know Patrick Mahomes is really good. Their defense is really good. The bad, it's the Chargers, man. The Chargers aren't that good. This is a team that everybody told you they've got all this talent. They should be that. It's just the Chargers. They're not good. Who have they beaten and what have they done? They're 2-4. They beat the Dolphins in week. I'm sorry. They beat the Vikings on the road. The Vikings have what 2 wins, and the Raiders are terrible. Other than that, they lost the Dolphins, the Titans, who aren't good, and the Cowboys and the Chiefs. They're not that good. And the ugly, how it's going to be here around Brandon Staley, because it's going to continue to get uglier and uglier and uglier around that head coach, and more uncomfortable because that's a team that had a whole lot of hype and was built to win.
The 2 that I was thinking of, you guys didn't bring up. Kareem Jackson, ugly. You know better than that. You've been fined already. That's unacceptable.
Yep.
And the officiating at the end of the Browns Indy game, very questionable call on the pass interference. Kind of gave him a bunch.
I thought it was
of
a
chances.
Horrible call.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, I thought there were a few bad ones. I thought that was a really bad one, but I thought there were a number of them. All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to get in on any of that, you can. 505-246-0610. Your biggest reactions from the football weekend. I want to hit some of the Mountain West Conference and college football stuff when we get back to. There were some big college football games, some late ones, some early ones. We'll get into the college stuff when we get back, including USC. How many losses will they end up with? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Lobos were 42-21 winners over Hawaii on Saturday night out at University Stadium. Danny Gonzalez is going to be with us coming up here in about 12 minutes, we'll talk to the Lobo football coach coming off of a win, a needed win, a good win, a solid win, a strong win. Did you catch any Ohio State, Penn State? The latest, biggest game of the decade? It was good. Ohio State looked good. Their defense is good, man.
Yeah, Penn State has some offensive questions going into that game about their explosiveness, their ability to do it against a good defense, and found out that questions are real.
Legit, yeah. A couple of stunners. Two teams ranked really high that barely escaped. Washington. How did you see that one coming? Washington beat Arizona State 15-7. They had to score 12 points in the fourth quarter to win. Michael Penix, 27-42. They had to do it on a late interception return for 89 yards. It makes no sense. Is it just the emotional letdown that kids are kids and it's hard to focus and you're going to have a down week and the other guys are on scholarship too? And I mean, all that stuff, because this one was astonishing.
Arizona State should have won that game.
Yeah.
There was a no call on the pass interference in the end zone that they picked up the flag. The Washington defensive back was grabbing the front of the jersey of the Arizona State wide receiver, and the referees turned on the mic and said there was not enough contact there for a flag after they threw the flag. That is a moment where you have fans going, wait, who paid you what?
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad.
Your conference has how much going on the line right here?
It was that bad because they threw the flag and then picked it up.
This one, but why was it this close? And I'm not going to. I didn't see the game. I know Arizona State's 1-6, and I've watched them play, and I've watched Washington. This is one of those. I don't even know what the spread was. The spread north of 30. I don't even know. This is an astonishing one. And then Central Florida playing Oklahoma like they did. Now that game was it was in Norman. 31-29, and Oklahoma had to come back and pull that one out. And they're the sixth-ranked team in the country. So a couple of just really, really tight ones. Texas got by Houston 31-24. And another tight one. And then did you see the SC game? Did you watch SC Utah?
Yes, it did.
Utah with another late game win over USC. They own USC right now. I think SC's wishing they were in the Big Ten and could play Indiana and Purdue and Nebraska and Minnesota instead of having to go play Utah and Oregon and Washington and UCLA every week. How many losses will SC end up with? They're 6-2. They lost last week to Notre Dame. They lose to Utah last week. They get Cal this week. And then it's Oregon, Washington, and UCLA. Over under 4.5 losses. They've got 2 right now.
Under.
So who do they beat?
UCLA.
Okay. UCLA's had them the last bunch of years. UCLA rolled over Stanford the other day. They're 5-2. SC's defense is, they're not national title contenders. Who's the front runner for the Heisman now? Penix took a big hit last week. Caleb Williams lost 2 games in a row. Is it Bo Nix?
Bo Nix slides in there.
Oregon's guy, he was 18-25 through 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Big win over Washington State on homecoming in Eugene. Got good pictures from there.
You're just looking at Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
The quarterbacks, a lot more movement than we anticipated.
Yeah.
Between those guys.
Yeah. This was just, it was just one of those weeks. Mountain West for you over the weekend. Air Force was out of conference. They went on the road. They were winners at Navy 17-6. Falcons are ranked 22nd. May move up a little bit when the rankings come out today. They are 7-0. And next up for Air Force, they jump back into league play. They get Colorado State on the road this weekend. Hawaii was in Albuquerque, lost 42-21 to Lobos. UNLV, JJ, had to come back on Colorado State. Colorado State's got a lot better. 25-23. UNLV won at home. The Rams fall to 3-4. UNLV still unbeaten in conference play, 6-1 and 3-0. San Jose State, after beating the Lobos a week ago, went home and beat up on Utah State, 42-21. That running back, Kyrie Robinson, who went bonkers on you guys last week, 102 yards, a touchdown, also had another touchdown receiving. San Jose State's won a couple in a row. And they may claw themselves back into bowl eligibility. That was a team that started out 1-5 because they played, again, SC and Oregon State and right. Well, they may find their way back in. And Nevada breaks a 16-game losing streak in one of the ugliest games, period. They won in San Diego at Snapdragon. They beat the Aztecs 6-0. Do you see Jalen Madden's line, the quarterback for San Diego State? 6 of 14 for 47 yards. And they only ran the ball for 157 yards. 204 yards of total offense for San Diego State. Now, it's not like Nevada ran up and down the field either. That was a rough watch. And the seat's getting hot for Brady Hoke in San Diego.
It's warming up. And it's also one where, man, you're watching that offense. You're like, do you want to start running the triple option? Do you want to?
I don't even know what they were trying to do. I mean, it was just run up the middle, run up the middle.
Skill players.
How did
Still
they
can't
get
find
that
a quarterback?
way? How did San Diego State become that? No, honestly. Right? I mean, Rocky left. Brady took over. They had a couple of okay years. But that was one of the worst offenses. And to your point, there's no skill players. There was always have a stable of running backs.
It's you run the football, a couple play action passes. It's you get 2 tight ends, and they don't have that.
Yeah, it's tough. Aztecs are 3-5. They're 1-3. Next up, they get Utah State, Colorado State, San Jose State. They may stumble their way to 6-6. I just don't see how that's going to happen. They got to win 3 of their last 4. I just don't know how that's going to happen. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that, right?
Yeah.
So your standings in the Mountain West, you got 2 unbeatens at the top. It's Air Force that you knew about. It's UNLV, who is unbeaten in league play at 3-0. Wyoming, Fresno State, Boise State 2-1, and then San Jose State at 2-2. Lobos are tied with Colorado State and Nevada at 1-2, and they get Nevada this week. All right, when we come back, looking forward to having a conversation with Danny Gonzalez, Lobos head football coach, after the New Mexico 42-21 victory over Hawaii on Saturday, pass out at University Stadium. Looking forward to talking to him about what went right, what did he see after watching the tape, and how do you roll that into making it 2 in a row as you go to Reno this weekend. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Monday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
For 5 years running, it's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, good solid performance, 4 quarters, and offense, defense, special teams, and it makes a winner. 42-21 New Mexico over Hawaii on Saturday past out at University Stadium. Lobos improved to 3-4, 1-2 in conference play with a trip to Reno next week on the horizon. Conversation with Danny Gonzalez, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Where do you turn when you need legal help? Rudy's experienced and really cares. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. He is the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. Danny Gonzalez joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Danny. How you living?
We're living great. We're getting ready just like we did last week. We put it behind us and get ready for the next one. Start getting ready for Nevada yesterday afternoon.
Well, we're going to look back just a little bit before we look forward, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
It felt like from where I was sitting, the most complete game, certainly this year, but maybe in a while. It offensively, defensively, you forced turnovers, you moved the ball, you took care of the ball. It feels like you cleaned up a lot of the issues. When you look back at the tape, what'd you see?
Well, I mean, I thought our kids played extremely hard for 60 minutes, regardless of what happened during the game. Now, we got off to a good start. We obviously changed the momentum. We deferred, which we don't typically do, which I thought was a different message to our team. We went out on defense first, got a 3-and-out, and then the offense got the ball and scored. And our offense scored on our first 6 possessions, minus the 24 seconds at the end of the first half when we just ran the ball to get out at halftime, go up 28-14. I thought we did a good job on both sides of the ball of up front. I mean, we got pressure on the quarterback, which created turnovers. I think we had 2 sacks, and we hit Shager 16 times. And then offensively, we protected Dillon really well, and we were able to knock them off the line of scrimmage and run the football. So, I mean, it was. I talked about it for a long time. If we could get our team to play for 60 minutes, I think this team has a chance to be a good football team. And I thought they played like a good football team on Saturday night.
Andrew Henry ran for 112 yards. That's the guy that we were told about when he got recruited. He split in with Bill. He had Henry had 13 carries. Jacory had 10. No Sherrod White. Was he injured? Was the plan to get Andrew Henry back in? Was this like just one of those where let's ride the hot hand, or was that the plan going in to give the ball to Andrew?
No, that was the plan. Sherrod's battling a little turf toe that he got last week, so we didn't. He was available to play. We were trying not to play him if we could avoid it. And I thought Andrew Henry and Zach Vigil stepped in and did a phenomenal job. I mean, Andrew obviously has some speed that we were able to exploit on the outside with some of the pitch toss and the sprint draw, and then throwing the ball out to him on the perimeter because he's got great hands and runs good routes. And then Zach, who's probably our best pass protector, came in and did a great job in protection, but we gave him the ball a few times so they don't think that every time he's in there it's going to be pass. And I thought he did a nice job, converted the first down, had a nice catch out of the backfield. So that room has been deep all year long. We got a couple guys banged up, but every time somebody gets banged up, somebody else pops up, like Andrew Henry did on Saturday, and I thought those guys did a nice job.
Danny, you mentioned the pressure, and that, of course, can help things out for the defense overall, but the athleticism in the secondary showed up, and you talked about those guys and how athletic they are, and they just need to find a way to make a play, and they made some really good plays, especially Lewis, the way he had changed the trajectory to get that second interception. Finally seeing those guys get the hands on the football, how did that feel?
Well, it felt great for them because they put in a lot of hard work, and I said early in the year when we were giving up all those big plays that eventually those guys will get better as the season goes along. Obviously, we want them to be better now, more so than earlier when they were. But they've just stayed the course. I mean, Jamarius is a really talented young man. I thought Zach Morris had a great, probably played his best game. Derek Moore, true freshman, stepped in for Tavian Combs. He did a phenomenal job. Christian Ellis has gotten better and better and better every single week. And it was a good week for those guys to get better because Hawaii is, I mean, they throw the ball everywhere. I mean, they're averaging 55 to 60 throws a game. They threw it 52 times on Saturday. And when we were up 42-14 with 6 minutes to go in the game, we had pretty much accomplished. I mean, they had 270 yards of total offense at that time. We decided at that point the game was out of hand, so let's get some guys some experience. Now, that irritated me because they had 131 yards in the last 6 minutes, but those guys got some valuable experience, and I thought because of the pressure, those guys were able to make plays with their athletic ability. And when you get 4 turnovers, it changes the game dramatically.
Louisville football coach Danny Gonzalez with us on The Sports Animal, and you mentioned the turnovers too, and the defensive line creating pressure, the linebackers getting there. What were they able to do to be so successful to get pressure against the team? And you talked about it. You wanted him to make quick decisions, the Hawaii quarterback, and you were able to make him do that.
We did. I mean, the idea was to get the ball out of their hand quick. We gave them a couple of different looks up front. We had some guys moving around off the ball, and then those guys, I mean, Tyler Keeney and Alec Morenko stood up the whole time, and they were coming at the quarterback from different angles. We were showing inside. We were getting pressure off the edge, so we kind of had their tackles on an island in the cat-and-mouse game. And then those guys, more importantly than scheme, they were beating guys one-on-one up front. And I was really impressed with that because if you'd go through, Hawaii has not given up a bunch of sacks on the year. They are actually doing a really good job of protecting Braden Shager. Now, he gets the ball out of his hand quick, so it's hard to get to him. But like I said, we hit him 16 times. I mean, by the end of the game, he was overthrowing a lot of balls because we were getting pressure on him, and that helps DBs. I mean, the front seven is as responsible for as much of the big plays as the back end, and those guys don't make plays when the quarterback has all kinds of time to throw the ball. So, I mean, it was a combination. We were beating guys one-on-one, and then when he did have time to throw it, we were making plays, whether it be interceptions or pass breakups in the secondary.
Danny, we can X and O this thing all day, but what did it mean in the locker room to those guys? You and I talked about this a few weeks ago. They need a win for validation, right? You've been practicing, you've been talking about it, they've been working, and they got the win at UMass, but to get this win, to stop all those streaks with all the noise that was around the program that they hadn't won in however many, a home league game and all those streaks, to put those to bed, what did it mean psychologically for your club to go out and win convincingly?
I thought there was a bigger psychological win than all those streaks and stuff. I thought it was interesting during the post-game press conference. They asked Jamarius, they asked Dylan, they asked Andrew Henry about the losing streak at home since 2017. Those guys had no idea. We don't talk about it. The only one that had known was Dylan because everybody was asking him on his Tuesday conversations. So it was good they didn't know about it. I mean, they obviously were focused on something else. The bigger emotional win and mental win was the way we came out of way we started the game on Saturday as opposed to how we ended the game against San Jose State. I mean, if you don't have a strong culture and you don't have a belief in what you're doing, that train could have derailed and kept going just bad south. And I thought our guys showed up with the right intent on Tuesday. Tuesday we went against each other ones versus ones, and we did not on Wednesday because I thought Tuesday was too physical because we got a bunch of guys beat up. and I didn't want to get more guys beat up just trying to get to the football game. So we changed the form of practice a little bit. We did some sudden change things that I thought helped dramatically during the game Saturday. But we've got some guys that believe in what we're doing, and they're competing their tails off, and they came out, and like you said, we had a convincing win, and I think it gives those guys validity that if we do things right, it does work. And they have the belief now. I mean, they've seen the price, the pay in the pudding that we have. If we play for 60 minutes together with complementary football, we can be a pretty good team, because I think everybody in our league, I mean, San Diego State obviously struggled Saturday against Nevada. I'm glad Nevada got that win. They get that monkey off their back so we can go two teams against each other and try and beat each other up and have some fun. But our league's very competitive. I mean, San Jose State and Hawaii play on the island this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's another game that comes down to the end.
Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez is with us. All right, you're going to Reno. Team very much like you. They just broke a big streak, 16 in a row. They shut out. What a weird game, too. 6-0. They beat San Diego State. And now you're going into their place. One of you is going to get a lot of momentum. And I know you feel like you've got an opportunity. You get a win there. You even things out at 4-4 and 2-2 and have a lot of goals in front of you. So how do you look at this thing when you see Nevada? What do you see there? Obviously, defensively, they played well against San Diego State.
I think it's Ken Wilson's in his second year. I mean, everybody's going to look at this and say they're a 1-6 football team. I think they've gotten better every week. Obviously, they played really well on defense Saturday. They shut San Diego State out. Whether San Diego State's having problems or not, it's still hard to shut out anybody in today's college football. So they've gotten better each week there. And then offensively, I mean, they've mustered up 2 field goals, and San Diego State's pretty good on defense. So, I mean, we've got a great challenge ahead of us. We're going to be on the road, which the weather's supposed to be great. We left out there in Reno in late October. You can get ugly weather, but it's supposed to be a beautiful day. It might be a little windy, which it always is in Reno. But I know our kids have the same focus they had last week. They came yesterday afternoon. Now, they enjoy it. Like you said, the locker room was a lot more fun. And all the work that you put in to enjoy those locker rooms, I mean, I was glad they were dancing around and having fun and throwing things at each other. Hopefully we can put some momentum together and get another one. Like you said, we get this thing 4-4, 2-2 in conference, and have some fun down the stretch.
Danny, you talked about the focus and the way the team was able to respond. Who has helped lead that charge for this team this year? Because you mentioned coming off that second half, and it could go one way or the other. And this team, you felt, responded each week. When they come back, they show up that Sunday to that facility. Who has really helped push that from the players?
Well, Dylan Hopkins, obviously, I think he's the biggest voice on our team because he's won at a high level. I mean, he's the only kid on our team that has actually won and won convincingly. Now that we have kids from TCU, and they were on that team, but they weren't in the trenches winning those football games. So Dylan's been that guy, especially on offense. And then I think you got to give a lot of credit to Alec Marenko, him and Kyler Drake and Gabe Lopez up front. Those guys have been just steady the course. Alec is our emotional leader, sometimes too emotional, have to calm him down on the sideline, but it's a lot easier to calm those guys down than to beg them to have energy. And those guys, they when somebody's not doing something right in the locker room or somebody's not doing something right on the practice field, they're not afraid to go over there and grab them by the face mask and get them in the right way, which that used to be a coach's job, and coaches don't do that anymore. And when you have players that are willing to do that and can be player-led, you have a chance to continue down the path, and I think that's why we've stayed the course. It's not easy in this generation, with this younger generation, being a leader, because everybody wants to be liked, everybody wants that, and being a leader oftentimes is uncomfortable because you have to get after somebody's tail that's your age or that's in a similar situation, and good leaders don't worry about that stuff. And in the long run, people end up liking them more. So we've got some guys on our team like that, and I think they're showing their faces.
How are you going to be health-wise going? And do you know next week, Tavian back? Do you know who you're getting back and who might not be able to play?
I don't know about Tavian. We'll see on Tuesday at practice how he's moving around. If we don't have him this week, it'll be the following versus UNLV or Boise. So Derek Moore, we expect him to step up again. Cy Riley should be back. I'm expecting Sherrod will be a little bit healthier. He probably could have gone in an emergency situation, but that extra few days will help him out. And then everybody else was status quo. So we had young guys step up, which was important and vital, and they played well. And in the secondary, we had sophomore, true freshman, sophomore for the majority of the game. So those guys have gotten better every single week, and now it's starting to show itself.
Lastly, we've talked a lot about playmakers. 8 different guys caught passes. And I look, Jeremiah seems to be your guy. It was good to see DJ Washington go across the middle, get one. Erickson was healthy this week. you got guys now, don't you? And a multiple set of guys where it's not just if you need to play Dylan, it feels like he can go to Hickson. He loves Erickson. It feels like he's getting more trust in DJ. Caleb Medford. It feels like playmakers are starting to assert themselves.
They are, and you got to Dylan. I mean, you got to give him credit because guys run different speeds. They run the routes different ways, and Dylan has been able on a consistent basis to hit 9 or 10 different receivers in a game. Yeah. They're all very talented, which is a luxury because we have not been in that position over the last few years. You got a guy like Deuce Jones that can fly. You got a guy like Caleb Medford that can fly. We did miss one over the top to Caleb, which Dylan was beating himself up on the sideline. But he came back with some others. I mean, the corner route from RD and Hicks, I mean, those guys are so hard to cover in space. And you got to give Coach Vincent credit because we're a lot better procedurally. We didn't get a penalty until the 7th drive of the football game on Saturday. And when we were able to see what they were doing schematically, God, we were able to dice them up with Hicks and those guys. So give Dylan credit, but first off, give the offensive line credit because Dylan had the time for those guys to run those routes, and they've just gotten better and better every week.
Yeah, Danny, how big is that to see the offensive line respond? I know on the interior of that line, you guys kind of moving things around, giving opportunities. Those guys stepped up, and Brian Vincent too. There's a lot of counter motions. Pope got involved early just to see the multiplicity of that offense.
Well, I mean, it starts with those 5 guys up front. I mean, Isaiah Silliman has stepped up. We have a 3-man rotation at guard now with Issei and Tito and Isaiah. And I thought all 3 of those guys played really well. Isaiah is able to play on both sides. If you don't have those 5 guys playing on the same page, you don't give Dylan a chance, then all that talent and all that speed and all that stuff we have on the outside means absolutely nothing. So it starts there. They've gotten better and better every single week. I mean, we had a couple guys. I mean, Dylan statistically played well. Andrew Henry statistically played well. Jamarius Lewis had one of the best statistical games. Yeah. I mean, those guys have opportunities to be Mountain West Conference Players of the Week. I don't know that New Mexico has ever swept the 2 big ones. Would be really cool. But the validity that those guys are doing, the work that they're putting in is showing off and paying off on game day. I mean, that'll help us as we continue on for the next 5.
Safe travels to Reno. I know we'll see you during the week. Always appreciate the conversations on these Mondays, and always congratulations on the win. Enjoy the week, Danny. Thank you. I appreciate it. It'll be a great week. Happy late birthday to you on Saturday. Hopefully you got to enjoy some of this football game, and I know you got to see Addie run. She's got 3 more really cool opportunities to go out there and win some cross-country meets. I thought the crowd was outstanding. The ones that, I mean, it was great. The environment was great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Let's go get one at Nevada and keep this thing rolling. Go Lobos. Be well, Danny. Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. That conversation was brought to you by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal and experienced care for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. That's 505-242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. A lot to respond to there when we get back. And I thought the biggest thing might be the emotional, the psychological thing. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Baseball that's going on, New Mexico United season coming to an end, Lobo women's basketball season coming to a start. Whatever it is you want, we're here for you at 505-246-0610. I thought there was a bunch of stuff in there, JJ. I thought the emotional piece, and you've been around this team, and I've been around them a little bit, and when you practice and listen and get yelled at and study and pour as much as you put into it, you don't get results. It's just human nature to just start saying, what am I doing, right?
Yes.
Why am I getting yelled at every damn week and we get beat? And I thought more than anything, it saves, at least for another week, and if they can win next week, then they got something to play for, the back half of the season. I thought the win had to be as big emotionally, and if you saw after the game what it meant, it always amazes me what winning a game, what winning a football game means to these guys. I've run a bowl game for 18 years, and people tell me, these games don't mean anything. And I said, they don't mean anything to the people who don't play them. Right? How many times have you been on the field after a New Mexico Bowl and see what it means to the team who wins and the team who loses, right? I mean, it's a lot. And even after a game like last week, to see what it meant, I just think emotionally, this was a gigantic step, maybe for the program, but certainly for that team.
Just to get one, because it was bad coming off San Jose State. You have so many questions about the players' performance, the coaching performance. You start thinking they played bad, but it felt so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like to just come out and lay that big of an egg, and then to come out and from start to finish, not win a close game, even though we were talking pregame, it was one where it didn't matter what happened, just have one more point, but then to come out there and put a performance like that, it was never in doubt. They controlled that game from start to finish. Defense actually made plays. And it's what you're talking about. It's a payoff. Just having some confidence.
Yeah.
that it's still going to be a bumpy road for this Lobo football team. It is. But they can go into Reno, and that's a winnable game.
You coming out there
Reno
4-4. What do you think?
I feel better. I still don't have a lot of confidence when they go against Fresno State and even a bumpy Boise State. Still going to be favored.
But my point is, right? UNLV proved relatively mortal last week, although they won. Although they're really good, right? Colorado State pushed them. Boise State isn't the Boise State that you've known over the years. They're good. And Utah State's beatable, right? And so if you can get this game, you're like, okay, just get me to Utah State that it means something. Just get me to Thanksgiving weekend, pick me one more off out of the next 3, and get me to where that last game of the year means something. Right?
Absolutely. That'd be phenomenal.
I heard you saying on the pregame show, we were, who was I driving? I'm not going to lie, I got there late. Addie ran at 2:40, the big Albuquerque Academy Extravaganza. They won, by the way. Big win over Los Alamos. It was a big deal. So I got there a little late, but I was listening to you coming in, and you said, just get one more point. Yeah, you just need one more point. And I thought you were right. But the fact that they did win convincingly. It was 42-14 until Hawaii scored late in that game. There's something about really sticking it to someone that gives you a little bit of extra burst. If they'd have won on a last-second field goal, they'd have felt good about themselves, right? If they'd have won by, as you said, 1 point, they'd have felt good they'd have won a game. But now I think it validates a lot in their minds, whether it does to the fan base or not, right? In their minds, okay, we went out and we took it to someone like they took it to us a week ago. And I think there's a lot to that now how do you parlay that? Now you're going to go, and I think Danny's right, by the way. The fact that Reno beat San Diego State last week is good for New Mexico. That's a team that, they got your attention a little bit. They're not 0-7, right? 1-6, there's a big difference. And they just shut out a San Diego State team that is historically pretty good. And there's no streaks on the line, all that crap, right? I think it gets your attention a little bit more, a team that's coming off a win as opposed to, they're 0-7.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild night in Reno for as interesting as a game could be, with a team breaking a 16-game losing streak and a 14-game conference losing streak. There is a ton of intrigue in that because Reno, they're having that same exact conversation this morning.
Yep.
Let's go put 2 in a row together. Let's get this one at home.
100%. What do you think the spread is? At Reno, what do you think the early spread is? By the way, Reno's got to be looking at going, well, you know what? If we could beat New Mexico, we get 2. Then Hawaii could be 3. And then Utah State could be 4. And Colorado State could be 5. And right? I mean,
yeah.
And Iowa, Go Howard Dean on this mess. What do you think the spread is?
Lobos. I think Lobos could actually be favored on the road by 3.
Do you see? What do you think the spread is? Lobos at Reno, early spread on Saturday night. JJ says Lobos by 3.
I was thinking Lobos like 6.5.
Well, then you guys should bet this because Nevada's a 1.5 favorite. You're getting a 1.5 right now if you get the Lobos. You guys should jump on it now. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know when the last time I ever thought I would go into a game and say the Lobos are road favorites.
But they're not yet. It may switch. It may flip, but they're not right now.
No, they're not, but I feel that way about a game.
Yeah. By the way, do you know tomorrow's game day for the Aggies? Tuesday night football this week. A big one for them. They get to 6 if they can win at Louisiana Tech tomorrow night. But you get Tuesday night lights, which is, especially if the National League wraps up tonight, they'll have the stage set to themselves on Tuesday night. Because we got Monday Night Football tonight. We got the National League this afternoon, the American League tonight. The American League, Game 7 is going up against Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football could be a dog, right? Okay, here's why it won't be. By the way, we all think the Niners are going to beat the hell out of the Vikings, right?
Yes.
What happens when we all know something?
It does not happen.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight then, right?
Niners should beat the living stuffing out of them, shouldn't they tonight?
Yeah, they should.
All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I got results from 3-for-All. They're what you expect when we come back. I want to hear from you. I want your thoughts on what you heard from Danny Gonzalez. I want your thoughts on Lobo football's victory over the weekend against Hawaii. I want your thoughts on what you saw in the National Football League over the weekend. Eagles beat the Dolphins. That's a big win. Bill Belichick gets his 300th. That's a big win, too. We can do that at 505-246-0610. Hey, the cold winter weather, I know you don't believe it, but it's coming, and it's coming quickly, and it will not be kind to your vehicle. Give your car the protection it needs with a visit from On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I recommend them because not only do they offer great detailing services, but their ceramic coating and paint protection film work like magic. Talking no more mud, dirt, water stains. Their protective layering helps prevent UV oxidation damage to your car's paint with an opportunity to get a lifetime warranty. You can't go wrong. On the Spot Automotive Detailing also offers window tint services for your vehicle. Call them, schedule, or just go online. It's all right there, and you can schedule it at otsdetailing.com. That's otsdetailing.com.
Insurance is not a commodity.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Just like you would think it was. 505-246-0610. All right, you're in on the text line. That's 505-246-0610. Lobo win was well earned. They played hard and inspired. There still were too many penalties, many careless. They had 10 penalties in this game. Got another one. Cleveland may have won the game, but they didn't beat the spread. It ruined my parlay. Sorry, bro. All right, DC, how do you think you did this weekend in the three-for-all?
Well, I know I did not get the under on Kansas City.
You missed by a half a point on that. The over-under was 47.5. They went to 48, so you took the under, so you lost that. Yeah.
I'm thinking I went 0-3.
Yeah. The Rams -3 at Pittsburgh. They lost. You had Tampa Bay -2.5. They lost. You're 0-3. 7-15 on the year. Coming off a 3-0 week, but you're 7-15. JJ, you lost with Washington. You took them as a favorite over the Giants. They lost outright. You went over on the Tampa Bay Atlanta game. The over was 37. The total ended up being 29. You lost. None of us. We're 0-5 so far. You realize? You did win on Seattle. You laid 8. They won by 10 over Arizona. So you were 1-3. You're 8-12. I lost with Miami +2.5 at Philadelphia. I lost with Detroit +3 at Baltimore. But I did win with the Bears Raiders over 37. They went to 42. I was 1-2. I'm 9-11. We are bad, you guys.
Yep.
I mean, this is doing this exercise. I told JJ, first of all, one of the reasons I wanted to do this exercise was discourage me from going out and betting.
Oh, it's doing a great job of that for me.
I know how hard it is, but I'm like, okay, let's just pick our 3 favorites every week and just so we're all underwater. We all stink. So just go against us. JJ's 8-12, I'm 9-11, and DC gets bonus losses. He's 7-15. That's how hard it is, man. It's like it's literally that bad. Deutsch said it's a long time before we ram it again on this show. They may not win another one this season. That was a tough loss, man. Tough loss to the Steelers. Gotta listen to that mess. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Travis.
Good morning, fella.
What's good?
Listen, that money line parlay we talked about on Thursday.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, well, listen, I talked about it with some friends, and they got me all hyped up. So I went $250 to win $10K on the teams that we talked about. I'm sitting here $250 poorer, so feeling really good about that. Bills, Detroit, Miami, Green Bay, man.
You lost all four. You should at least get your money back if you lose all four.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was texting with my friends. And I was like, I'm going to pick perfect in reverse, and I feel like I should get money for that.
Yeah.
The only one I got right was the Chiefs, and it was like, give me a break, man. Like, let me lose that one too. Like, here's the thing: you want to be first, or you want to be last. You want to be somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. I was playing yesterday. We were playing golf, and my partner, he's like, "Is you and me on this hole?" And we both I think we both made double, and the guy ran a birdie in us. I like, if you're gonna beat me, just beat the hell out of me, right? I mean, go ahead and just bury me. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I couldn't pick a game to save my life. I also had 3 different single game parlays, and those obviously hit too. So it just Listen, the good news is Lobos won, and I'm really, really excited about that. I'm so happy for Danny and this team. It was a great win. I think that team looked every bit like the team we were hearing about during the preseason. I was really, really impressed with the way that the defense finally showed up. I think in a big way. Last week we were talking about how Hawaii was really going to test this team through the air in the secondary. And they were ready. I mean, I think they really responded. And listening to those post-game interviews, I think Hopkins was one of them, that defensive safety, Glover Quinn's cousin or whatever.
Jamarius Lewis.
Yeah. When you listen to those players talk about, how much they love Danny and how much they believe in him, I mean, those kids are going to run to a wall for him. And I think we should continue to believe in him as well. And I was just really happy to hear that Danny has been spending so much time in the DB film room, with the safeties in the corners. That's what a leader does. A leader sees a hole, and he moves in to fix it. And that really goes back to Danny's coaching roots. And I think his direct involvement, being in that film room, coaching those players directly, has really helped this team. That is heading into Nevada with a whole heck of a lot of confidence. And I'm really excited, and I just could not be happier for Danny and this team. Thanks, guys. Happy Monday.
All right, Travis, thanks. He's hands-on, obviously, right? I mean, Danny's a defensive coach, and like that second half last week against San Jose State, I think everybody took personally, don't you?
Yes, they did.
And they were a different team. Is Hawaii a better offensive team than San Jose State, do you think?
No.
Because Chevin Cordero's the difference?
Oh, and San Jose State can run the football.
Why can they run the football?
More balanced attack.
Yeah.
I think Cordero overall is the better quarterback.
Well, I don't think that's arguable. I think absolutely he's a better quarterback. All right. All right, when we come back, I'm tired of this bleep. I'm tired. It's been 7 years of this bleep. I'm tired of losing. Who said it? And is it going to get any better? It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football.
This report.
Rosendo Nahad here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets.
we take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point here.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet, and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid out of going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that? Ethan Olguin. My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto makes one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What a move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades 2. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
With his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vincente Tafoya. Ryan Brown had punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it pay.
Back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is
is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
M610, the sports animal.
I'm bleeping tired of this bleep. Bleeping tired of this bleep bleep. I've been 7 bleeping years, and it's the same bleep. I'm tired of this bleep. That's not me. I'm just reading a quote. No, I'm good. I've been here 15. I'm not. I enjoy it. That's Jonathan Allen. After the Washington Commanders have suffered, he's been 7 years and they've been called 3 different things, right? I mean, honestly, that dude's been through 3 different name changes of the team, and they lost 14-7 to the Giants on Sunday. They combined for 18 punts. That was another tough watch. Sam Howell 1 for 15 on 3rd downs, 1 for 3 in the red zone. After the loss, Jonathan Allen, their defensive tackle, asked, what was your evaluation of the loss? It's always a tough one after a loss. They whooped our ass, plain and simple. Got to be better. All right? Seemed like it was normal. And then he was asked, well, is it frustrating? Well, you got what you wanted. You got your soundbite. Just get your beeps ready. Bleep, yes, it does. I'm bleeping tired of this bleep. Bleeping tired of this bleep bleep. It's been 7 bleeping years of the same bleep. I'm tired of this bleep. End quote. See, that's why you got to win every now and then. Now, that's why you've got to win. We thought that they were better, right? I thought they were better. I mean, the Giants.
Well, in this matchup,
yeah,
going against the New York Giants, and you can't get anything going offensively whatsoever. And the Commanders didn't play bad defense. Gave up 2 touchdowns. And you still felt like you didn't have a chance in that game, which you shouldn't when you're playing the Giants.
Yeah, because they did nothing offensively. They had under 275 offensively. Brian Robinson scored their touchdown. But other than that, they didn't.
Well, you're going to be frustrated, too, if you're Washington. It was almost 4 games worth of no offensive touchdowns for the Giants, and then they scored 2 against you.
Yeah. Is Tyrod Taylor better than Daniel Jones? Just asking.
No. He still didn't score a touchdown last week against Buffalo.
I saw you in there thinking about it.
I mean, it's a fair question.
It's fair, right?
It's very fair. I mean, now, last game was not pretty, but Daniel Jones has not lived up to the expectations.
40 million?
Here. Well, yeah, 40 million, of course, but that was a team that was supposed to be pretty decent, and they just looked terrible. So it's a fair question. I probably still lean towards Daniel Jones, but I understand why it's being asked.
Washington, who I thought could contend after winning their first 2, realized they beat the Cardinals and the Broncos. Lost to the Bills, the Eagles, the Bears, and now the Giants. They get the Eagles again. Is Ron Rivera the first coach out? I mean, if they lose to the Eagles, Patriots, Seahawks, what are we doing? And I like Ron Rivera. I've always been a Ron Rivera guy.
It could be Eric Bieniemy team the rest of the way.
That's kind of my thought, right? Is he auditioning for a head coaching job? Now, it's not like his offense was unbelievably spectacular. He's working with Sam Howell, who I thought was better than Sam Howell evidently is.
That's the realization of these guys are going to be a lot more up and down in this league. I think when you have
100%.
And is Sam Howell good? Like, would we even put him as a good NFL quarterback? Because I
thought he was, and now I'm rethinking that. Hottest,
like it's the class below, like your Desmond Ritter, Sam Howell, what Daniel Jones has been before he got hurt.
Jordan Love falling into that.
Jordan Love.
It's rough, man. It's really, really rough. Hottest seat in the NFL coaching wise right now. Is it Washington? Is it Chargers? Heck of a effort by the Raiders yesterday. Bears won with, what's my guy's name? Secret Bagent Man? What is he? Who's the guy?
Does anyone know how to pronounce his last name?
I don't know.
I've heard it multiple ways.
What have you heard?
Bagent. Bagnet. All I know is that dude is a hero.
Winner.
Did not throw an interception, threw a touchdown pass.
Winner. 30-12. They didn't just beat the Raiders with a guy named Tyson Bagent, whatever. They even ran Nathan Peterman out there for a minute. Tyson Bagent was 21-29 for 162 yards, didn't turn the ball over, and whooped the Raiders. You know what? I don't even have the Raiders on my worst loss because it doesn't matter, but they kind of got to go on the worst loss, don't they?
At some point, doesn't a backup quarterback have to win one game for you to feel like, all right, this guy can steady the ship for us for a week or two?
Who are we talking about?
Do you know Brian Hoyer has lost the last 13 games he started?
Did not know that, no.
Because at some point, when we talk about backups, like get one. That's why you're still in the league for 15 years. Not Brian Hoyer.
17-32 for 129 yards. He threw 2 interceptions. Why was he in instead of Aiden O'Connell? Although they went to Aiden O'Connell. That's a horrible loss. And you got run out of the build by Tyson Bagent. Shepherd College. Was he the Division II Heisman? Is that what a Division III Heisman guy? God bless him.
The Raiders put Deontay Foreman on a list with Walter Payton and Gale Sayers.
You told me Deontay Foreman was going to win games this year. You did during the draft. You told me Deontay Foreman's going to
rush for 2 touchdowns and got a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Bears running backs to do that.
Gale Sayers. Okay. Walter Payton. All right, we'll go on the phones when we get back. I got winners and losers for you, too. Biggest winners, biggest losers of the weekend, and your reaction to the weekend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, Sports Animal. Your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta.
And this is one of those weeks, man. And JJ, I wish we would have kept the exact count. I want to say it's like 6, where we've been, JJ and I have been doing, well, I've been doing the show 15 years. JJ's been, I think, 12. And the amount of times the Lobos and Aggies have won in the same week in football is certainly single digits. And this is one of them. This counts.
It counts.
Aggies won last Wednesday. It is considered to be the same week. They won at UTEP and Lobos won at home. They beat Hawaii. Tomorrow's game day. It's the next week starts Tuesday. Tuesday Night Lights. They'll be in Ruston, Louisiana, short week, and the Aggies will play Louisiana Tech. Their chance to get to 6 victories and try to make it 4 wins in a row and keep moving up in the Conference USA standings. The Lobos will be in Reno on Saturday, where they look to make it 2 in a row. They get a Nevada Wolfpack team who just broke a 16-game losing streak with a victory on Saturday night in San Diego. They beat the Aztecs 6-0. That was the final, 6-0 in San Diego. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck coming off a big weekend of NFL, college football. United season came to an end. They lost 1-0 to Sacramento Republic in the first round of the USL Championship playoffs on Saturday. Lobo women opened up this season with a 77-57 exhibition win over Eastern New Mexico. Rangers beat the Astros last night 9-2. They'll play Game 7 of the American League Championship Series today. Diamondbacks and Phillies tonight, or today. That one is in Pennsylvania. Game 6. Diamondbacks need to win to stay alive. 505-246-0610. Good morning, Sherman. How you living?
Hey, good morning. What about that Lobo win, huh?
Nice
6
one, huh?
touchdowns to 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, that's the team that you expected to see all year, right?
And what those in zone interceptions? How often do you see one of those?
Well,
much less 2.
From this team, not very often, Sherm. It's been few and far between. So it was a big defensive effort. By far the best game they put together.
By far. I guess we're going to have to send Sam Bregman to Texas, right, to get this Game 7.
Well, you got Game 7 tonight, so you're playing it one way or another, whether he's there or not. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Listen, you have a great week.
All right.
Super happy for Danny and the Lobos.
Thanks,
sir.
Sherman. Appreciate you.
Oh, it was a foot-stopping win.
I know what you're doing there. See you, Sherm.
Take care, my
See
friend.
ya. All right, so I'm sitting in my seats, DC. I actually used my season tickets this weekend for the game. Sitting there, my leg crossed, right, my right ankle on my left knee, and Sherman came from up behind me and kind of, I'm going to kick his foot, and he kicked my foot. Well, there was a lady sitting right in front of me, like right at foot level, and I had enough foot control, leg strength to stop it, and Audra said about an inch from kicking that lady in the head. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry, man. I thought it'd be. He just kicked my foot off my knee. Well, there's a lady right there that could have been bad. Because, dude, her husband was big. And he should have been pissed if I kicked his wife in the head. Right? I'm glad I didn't have a problem.
Glad they didn't have.
I'm glad I didn't.
They're all very glad that did not.
I'm glad I didn't have a problem. All right, you want NFL winners and losers?
Yeah, I do.
All right, losers was tougher for me today, but all right, here's biggest winners. JJ, you ready for me?
Let's do it.
Biggest winners in the National Football League this weekend. Dun 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 dun. I need music for that. Probably not that music. All right, number 3, biggest winner in the National Football League, the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons go on the road. They battle for first place. Saints lost earlier in the week. They go into Tampa and wrestle away a 16-13 win. They might not be sexy. They might not be exciting. You might not even like Desmond Ridder. But they went on the road and won a division game to take over first place in the NFC South. They run the ball with 2 running backs. Bijan Robinson only had 1 carry. It was Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson. I thought that was look, defensively, Baker Mayfield had been playing well. He put up some stats. But I thought that was a huge win for the Atlanta Falcons. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. This was a statement game, right? Now, this was inter-conference, so the Lions came in. But this was, here's the team that might be the newest best in the NFC and one of the best teams in the NFL. And not only did they win, they blew them out the built. Lamar Jackson played probably his best game of the season, one of the best of his career. Threw for 357 yards, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over, ran for another one. Their defense shut down that high-powered Detroit offense who had been rolling everybody, and Baltimore wins 38-6. And the number 1 winner, the Eagles. That was the highest profile game, and they won convincingly. They won 31-17. They shut down that high-powered Miami offense. They held them to, what did I tell you, 50-something yards rushing the football, which I thought was astonishing. And the way the Eagles played, 45 yards rushing. I got the Eagles is my number 1 winner of the weekend. So I got Eagles 1, Ravens 2, Falcons 3. It's all battle of birds. It's all about the birds. Eagles, Ravens, and Falcons. All about the birds. You got a problem?
I don't have a problem with it. This is a weekend where I know sometimes you do honorable mention or code this. Like Baltimore and Philadelphia are equally matched as the best wins of the weekend. Because the performance that Baltimore put together on Detroit was fantastic. And it's a reminder that Baltimore's defense, it's not just, they've been good and we think they're still a really good defense. And Lamar Jackson, the fourth quarter issues have been real. And he can't turn the football over in the bigger games. But that was a fantastic performance. I just watching that game, and I can't recall a better game he has played.
No. My 4th team out would have been Pittsburgh for a win, going across the country and getting that win and keeping pace in the AFC North. All right, losers. Number 3, biggest loser, I got Miami. Because the way they got beat convincingly, and now the question's, but can they beat the good teams? I thought the mistakes Tua made, especially in the red zone, were somewhat reminiscent of early Tua. I thought that it's just a regression. I don't think it's a crippling loss by any means, but I thought they had an opportunity to make a statement and go in there and really, I just thought they took a step back, and the questions about can they beat the good teams are going to remain until Well, until they beat the good teams. Number two, I struggled with this a lot because I wonder, does it really matter? But you know what? I looked at the standings, and they went into this game thinking that they were a playoff team, that they were in contention. And then they got run out of the building by a bad team, and it's the Raiders. There was no reason to go in there and get beat by Tyson Bagent 30-12. You made a star out of Dante Foreman, a third-string running back. You made a star out of Tyson Bagent, a guy that you'd never heard of until a week ago. And you embarrassed yourself. I get it. You got Brian Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell. And you know what, though? I'm sorry. With all due respect, the Broncos beat that team. You can't lose 30-12. If you'd have lost 30-28, you probably wouldn't have made my list. But 30-12 is embarrassing. They're horrible. My biggest loser of the weekend is the Bills. You can't. You just that to lose like that to a team that was struggling so badly. New England before this week, going into this week, had lost to the Raiders, who are horrible, and the weeks prior lost 34-0 to the Saints and 38-3. They were spiraling. New England was spiraling. Their one win was 15-10 over the Jets. That's how close they were to being a winless team. And you let them beat you? You're a Super Bowl contender? Mac Jones was able to do you, and they marched down the field at the end on you? And go right down the field against your vaunted defense? Mac Jones did that to you? That is a horrible loss. You got a problem with those?
And that's why Buffalo is the worst, because you are overcome those issues. Another slow start. Josh Allen pressured the most he's been pressured all season long. 42% of his dropbacks, he was under pressure. And you score a go-ahead touchdown with under 2 minutes left, and you let Mac Jones drive right back down the field on you. So I agree with that. But it was because they give Mac Jones confidence the entire game. And the Buffalo Bills defense is too up and down for that team to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
You got a problem with 2 and 3?
No, Vegas, even with a backup quarterback that you shouldn't have
30-12
had zero chance
30-12
in that game. Where's the defense?
I mean, come on.
Like, how was Max Crosby not able to get off against that Bears offensive line? You let the Bears run the football. Deontay Foreman, 3 total touchdowns. He was really good. And there's certain games. I know I was just joking about it on Friday, but that's why I was looking at this Bears-Raiders game. Backup quarterbacks. One dude's been in the league for 15 years. The other dude's an undrafted free agent. What are you going to get? And the dude that's been in the league got outplayed.
Totally outplayed. You okay with Miami?
Yeah, that's one of those games where it doesn't mean that Miami can't be contenders in the AFC, but for them, it's a lot like Detroit. Yeah, Detroit won at Kansas City, but they also can then advance in the season and go, oh, this is another test. This is another moment of how do we adjust? If we're on the road against a really good defense, how does our offense find a way to get going?
The other 2 contenders for worst loss were Indianapolis and the Rams. Indy's hurt. Indy had Cleveland beat, and that hurt, and the Rams are slipping by the wayside. 505-246-0610. I got a bunch of correspondence from you all. I'll get that to you. I want your thoughts on the weekend. React to my winners and losers from the weekend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Come to the UNM Howell Zone.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point here.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet, and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson. Sliding, they slid out of going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play.
How did he hold on to that, Ethan Olguin? My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto makes one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What
there.
a move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block. Bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
Happy with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vicente Tafoya. Ryan Brown that punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it
right
pay.
back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
1917, Packers 194 yards passing, 137 yards rushing, scored 2 touchdowns. Your defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, as JJ told me, tweaked the lineup. Fabian Moreau starting at corner opposite of Patrick Surtain to go with rookie linebacker Drew Sanders being added to the nickel package. Broncos +1 with turnovers and a winner Denver chicken dinner. You all right with that?
You have to be all right with that. I think the most overplayed thing is tanking in football, and how everyone is just like, you need to tank, you need to trade every player you have, so you can get 4th and 5th round picks. Right. Like, not everybody is worth a 1st round pick. You're not getting a 1st round pick for Jerry Jeudy. You're not getting a pick for all these guys because half the league already wants to tank. And tanking does not, just because you get the number 1 overall pick, all right, you get Caleb Williams, you get Drake May. What that can do, though, that can put your franchise in a spiral because it's the culture, it's the coaching staff, it's the organization. Like, you can't climb back from that just because you have the number 1 overall pick. And so going out there, competing, winning football games, and people are like, oh, you get stuck in purgatory. No, that's, you can go down, and the good teams don't bottom out and get the number 1 overall pick and then become great.
Do you remember what happened last time Broncos tried to tank?
Did you get Brock Osweiler? Which one did you get? Which stud did you get? Peyton or Paxton Lynch or what?
You got a playoff win against the Steelers.
Oh, you got Timmy. Yeah, you got you some. Yeah, that's right. See, wouldn't you like to get a playoff win against the Steelers right now?
Yeah, there's no guarantee in tanking.
Wouldn't you like to be in the playoff? It doesn't
like in the sport of football.
Yeah,
it is. I'll listen to it a little bit differently in basketball because one dude, Victor Wembanyama, is definitely going to change the Spurs' future. But it does not work in football. It does not work.
Broncos have the longest drought in the playoffs right now in the NFL. That's insane to me. It's just insane to me. Text line says Miami is fool's gold and will consistently lose to top defenses. We'll see. They haven't beaten one yet. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, so this is about I didn't watch the Lobo game on the app, did you? So the Hawaii broadcasters came in, they did the game. There was an app. Bruce watched it. He says, when did Fearless Dougie become an announcer for Hawaii, Jeff? Listen to the broadcast. Lobo football has everything. The facilities, the fan support, 13,000 an ounce. The Rainbows are living in the low rent district. I'm surprised the announcers didn't cry about a palm tree in the middle of June Jones Stadium. It's from Bruce. Didn't hear any of it. Sometimes you realize somebody's got it worse than you do. So I'm telling you, this is one of the, you know what, you and I have not talked about this. And I would like to get, if we have Bill on the show, has Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt been on our show? He has been, right? Mm-hmm. I'd love to get him or Jeremiah Hickson back on. Because I've talked to some of the coaches and some of the players about this. The guys who transferred in from Alabama State, Tito Stafford, Jeremiah Hickson, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, have all contributed mightily, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
B, have a perspective that they appreciate things. And I don't know that we've had this conversation. So you always want the guys to come in from Mississippi State and TCU and Nebraska, right? And there's transfers on this team from Washington State and Nebraska and TCU and Mississippi State and UCLA. And you're like, okay, that's what we need. That's what we need. That's what we need. And you're right. You do need some of those. And then you got the guys who come in from Alabama State, and those guys were like, this is unbelievable. You mean we get all this gear? You mean we get fed 3 times a day? You mean after like spring practice we get fed? After fall practice we get fed every day? And they appreciated the facilities. Now look, I'm going to tell you, and I know I've been talking about facilities a lot lately because I firmly believe you need an upgrade because you got to keep up with the rest of your league. But there's people who have it way worse than you do too. And perspective is everything. And I know you've talked to people in the program too about the perspective with which the Alabama State transfers in particular, Bill, Hickson, Tito, have come in and they almost spun everything around. Look, this isn't TCU or Nebraska or Washington State, right? They don't have SEC money or Big 12 money. But they still have it pretty good. And I guess some of the guys maybe came in from some of the big programs and go, wow, all right, we're used to something different. And the guys who came in from Alabama State and some of the smaller programs were like, wow, this is unbelievable. This is really cool. And we're insanely appreciative and evidently really spun the perspective of some of these guys that might have come in with a little different attitude.
It is one, like what you said, it's a reminder that things are pretty good. Like I've been around the Mountain West. I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that opportunity. So you get a chance to see the facilities, the cities, and when you get caught up in your bubble,
right.
You can think things are worse than they are. When you are just frustrated, you're like, oh, it's just Albuquerque, it's just New Mexico, this is all we got. It's a pretty good like starting point for what you want, and I'm talking about competing against your peers in the Mountain West Conference.
Right.
Like you're not like football facility wise, yeah, there's some work they need to do, but basketball wise,
overall
the potential in the fan base in the city, like it's not crazy to feel positive about what could happen.
So if some of these plans come through that I'm hearing about, and they are able to upgrade the facility, get a team meeting room, upgrade the facility to where they need to, you're going to be set to win. And I don't know, it's perspective. And it goes into attitude, right? And sometimes, look, other guys have it better than you do. There are. And there's a lot that have it worse. I'll tell you that. Lobo Hobo said, concerned about Hawaii. Jeff talking to how do you always find their fans, man? Talking to their fans during the game, they were super disappointed. This was the game they had circled on their calendar. The Timmy Chang was supposed to show the Bows were making progress and could at least be competitive away from Sandwich Islands. Okay. Everybody got a big game every week. There's no games that aren't big. Ask Washington about that. I mean, they almost they almost lost everything. Everything. They're playing for a national championship. They almost lost everything.
That one, I'm usually not about it.
Yeah.
But that feels like the call came down from the Pac-12 office. Like, you better pick up this pass interference flag on the call in the end zone. You
Kinda
better
crazy,
pick this
right?
up.
Because it's going to cost us all a lot of money. Crazy how that went down. Dan says, that was hard to watch. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Dante Carlos. Hawaii looked like a 1AA club, especially defensively. I can see how they allowed 41 points to the Aztecs in Honolulu. The same San Diego State that went scoreless this weekend at Jack Murphy Stadium. The Timmy Chang's got to get bigger, faster, stronger at every position. It's from Dan. You know what? It's a fair comparison. It's San Diego State scored 41 against that team last week and scored none this week. And the Lobos are following San Diego State on opponents these next 2 weeks. So they got Hawaii. Lobos also scored 40. Well, they scored 42. San Diego State scored 41. You'd like to believe the Lobos will score more points against Nevada than San Diego State does. The Lobos' offense is better than San Diego State's, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's not even arguable, right? Okay. This one's from Gopher. Gopher's got United hot take. Jeff, we are going to hear for the next 5 months, United are close. The next season, their playoff hopes will come down to the last game. Gopher. Mm-hmm. Yes, you will hear that. Yeah. United season came to an end. They lost 1-0 to Sacramento. One and done in the playoffs. They were the 8th seed. And so they were the 8th seed. There was 12 teams in their division. They got in as the 8th seed, and they lost to the number 1 seed. And they were competitive now. Look, I'm not going to argue with any of that. They were super competitive at the end of the season. I asked you this earlier. This is the one thing, and you know the game way better than me. After all their losses, I always hear how we should have won. We outplayed them. They didn't. There was a quote from Eric Quill, their coach. I don't feel they earned their goal. That we outshot them. Sacramento hit the post in the second half late. It's never credit to those guys. They played a good match. It's always we were better. We're the better team. We got to do this. To your point, and they were 8th place team in a 12-team division. As you said, they are would you say a middle of the pack team with championship support?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, how do you evaluate a season like that? They changed coaches midway, made the playoffs. So I guess it is a success to make the playoffs. It is, and then went out, one and done. How do you assess their season?
Getting into the playoffs is a positive. When you have 8 teams make it out of 12, you look at the support, the investment. That should be the bare minimum. As being a playoff team.
Yeah. But it felt like that was such a victory to get into the playoffs.
They had to climb back up the table.
Yeah.
Like they were at the.
They were out. They were out for
a while.
Then they won 3 straight. Yeah.
But it's also, as you said, the messaging, and that's coming from the head coach, and he's able. The quotes that he says, it's always. It's never necessarily we didn't play well. It's we played good, but.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know the game better than I. I watched it.
Yeah, there was this.
They were competitive.
That wasn't a game that it was like, oh my gosh, United shouldn't have been on the field. They just didn't score.
Right.
Like they had possession. They were creating some chances. There's a reason Sacramento was the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Is because when they got a chance, like their most dangerous chance with a ball header in the box, dude put it in the back of the net.
Yeah. Yep. Bounced it high and look. I watched that match. I didn't feel, wow, that 1 seed is way better than that 8 seed. And so I'll give them that. I thought did they get better at the end? Were they a dangerous club at the end? Sure they were. They were beating playoff teams at the end of the season. They climbed up the table. They got back into the playoffs. They got into the playoffs, and they gave the number 1 seed a run. But they got beat. They didn't score. And it's over. That's all. I thought they had a great run at the end of the season. It feels like every game when they lose, it's never they played a nice game. The other club, it's we're better. We should have won. It was all about. I guess that's always how it is, right? I mean, I guess all coaches are like that. All right, I got more from you at 505-246-0610 on the text line. That's the phone line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. And when we come back, I want to get into Seattle a little bit. Big win. How about the NFC West? What are you making of it? Niners play tonight. Seattle got one, and the Rams are fading. We'll do that when we come back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football. Hey, you got the right to protect yourself and your property and your family. Aaron Jones started IPS, International Protective Service, years ago to help you and give you another layer. It is affordable private security. Affordable private security I hired years ago. They watch my home daily. Every day they come by. Officer Crespin's by on a daily basis. We know him. He knows us. They protect our home. It's another layer of security. Criminals don't care about laws. Aaron's committed to stop them from targeting your home and your business around the Albuquerque area. They've got highly trained armed officers who respond to alarms, usually in 7 minutes or less. Police are great, but they're overwhelmed. They can't react until it's way too late. Call IPS at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Or go to ipsglobal.com. IPS passionate to make Albuquerque a better and safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Julie.
All right, back to you. 505-246-0610. I got all kinds of stuff coming in this morning, and want to hear from you coming off a big weekend. This is from Doit Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com is where it came. It simply says Jordan Love sucks, and maybe Buffalo Bills aren't that good, Jeffy Lube. Jordan Love is struggling, JJ. Which is the more...
Jordan Love is in that category of quarterbacks, your Desmond Ritters, your Sam Howells of the world.
Yeah, which is the right read on him? The first couple weeks or the last few weeks?
The middle of that.
Okay.
That's the right read.
Yeah. So some weeks, maybe some week, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. The real Slim Grady, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. What's up, Grady?
Sports Equinox Celebrators.
That's right.
The OD and the AM. What's happening?
How you living? You all right?
I'm doing all right. You know, it never ceases to amaze me, the vultures and the ghouls just waiting with their yeah buts and I told you so's for Monday morning. It was, and particularly with the Lobos. It's like, okay, well, they win, yeah, but they weren't a good team, and yeah, but the other team's fans said that we weren't a good team. And if they lose, I told you so. I told you so. It's like, man, it surprises me just this.
Why does it surprise you? How does it still surprise you?
Well, it does. It's just because it's overwhelming, and it's the same, I guess, 3 or 4 people. But it's like, wow, don't you have anything else to listen to this show for? But I guess not. Hey, that victory by Lobos on Saturday, that was big, and I know you guys have touched base on it. I'll just say this: a loss against Hawaii, that could have been a locker room loser. And as you mentioned before about all the blood, sweat, and tears, and getting yelled at by the coaches, you put up with that, and then you still don't come up with a victory. Yeah, that could have been a locker room loser. Not to mention, if they would have just squeaked by, then that could have really kept Coach G squarely in the hot seat. But what they did, they won in a convincing way and how they were supposed to. And that's a positive step. Like, okay, this team is actually doing things that it's supposed to do. So I was thoroughly impressed, and that's a big deal. And speaking of big deals, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like our prep spotlight has gone the way of the back of the milk carton. But
I think we're going to hit that this week. I think we're going to get one with the playoffs now. I got to reach out to your guy this week.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that Academy Extravaganza cross country meet is the biggest meet in the state because there were 1,400 runners at that place, and as much as I want to say the biggest story was the Pecos boys beating the Laguna Acoma boys by 1 point to repeat as champions, to hopefully three-peat as state champions, the biggest story is the Academy girls beating Los Alamos girls. And Mr. XTV guy, I don't need to tell you this, but for everyone else, Los Alamos has been dominant, crazy dominant for a long time. The Academy girls are like Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing. They just played at the wrong time. They played during the Jordan era. And the Academy girls are running in the Los Alamos era. But to come up with that victory, that's a big story. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little disappointing that it wasn't covered more, because I would bet of those 1,400 runners, maybe a few of those have family, friends, etc., that are listening to this show, that might read the paper. Who knows?
Let me just tell you something, dude. So I was out there, obviously, right? And my daughter might be the only senior on that Academy team that, by the way, one senior and the one junior is now hurt. She got a stress fracture. So that team is 8th, 9th, and 10th graders, that Academy team that finally beat Los Alamos. And it's a big deal. And I mean, obviously the big one's coming up in 3 weeks at state. But yeah, man, that rivalry is as good a rivalry as there is in high school sports. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when your little girl's on that team, I'm not gonna pretend to be impartial on this. But that was a big deal. That was
I mean, it is. So it just as prep sports go, that's huge, and that's again the biggest meet outside the state meet. And congratulations are in order. And I'm glad that our guy is at MIA, that we'll get some updates, because let me tell you, like I mentioned, there are people who listen to this show, who participate, who have kids that they might want to hear their kids shouted out. They might want to hear their kids' team celebrated.
All right, man. I'll see you.
Appreciate the time.
Later. By the way, the young lady from Gianna Raymer from El Dorado. So Adam Kedge, who's been the cross-country coach at Academy for a quarter of a century, is a legend. So she's the fastest girl I've seen in the last 20 to 30 years. She's an 8th grader, you guys. This is the young lady I told you a week ago I went out and saw, and she was just running by. She won that race by a minute and a half. This was the Metro Championships, and one of her parents go, "Yo, Gianna," and she's like, just smiled and just, "I saw a bunny," right? I mean, she just runs so happy and so easily, and she is just keep an eye on this young lady. She's in Hoover Middle School, an 8th grader, and she will win the state championship for big schools. But she won the Academy Invitational the other day, or the Academy Extravaganza, 1746 or 1744. Second place was 1951. That's 2 minutes and 6 seconds. She won by 2:06, you guys. 8th grader. It's amazing how good she is. 8th grader. And she just is out there just running. And, little young lady, just, God bless her. Yeah. I've learned to love that, I'll tell you. All right. Text line. New Mexico United equals UNM basketball. 1 championship level support help to get in.
Yeah, fell behind 2-0. It happens. This is a big transition year for the program, and you are happy that people are frustrated because it shows the level of expectations that you built. And the reality for the UNM women is they've been a step behind, and it's frustrating. The last 2 games, you see the potential. What they did against Colorado State was crazy, and Colorado State, that's a good soccer team. Yesterday was a lot more frustrating, falling behind 2 goals to Wyoming, but unfortunately, that's been the story of their season.
The loss or the draw with Colorado State's one that's going to hurt you, right? The last 10 seconds.
Not getting a point out of that game.
Yeah, that one hurt. All right, Bourne says, thought the difference was, he keeps calling him Cody Hopkins. I think he's doing that to make it funny. Dylan Hopkins walking off the court with a clean uniform. Did he even have to wash it after the game? I don't think Hawaii touched him. Look, Danny Gonzalez. If you didn't hear Danny Gonzalez earlier today, that Global Football Coach was with us. Wherever you get your podcast, it's available. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and it'll be there. But he really praised the offensive line. I don't know that we gave the offensive line enough love in this game. The way they ran the football, JJ, the way they protected their quarterback, and I think it's a great point. I think a big part of this game was keeping your quarterback clean.
Offensive line, it's been a solid for the Lobos this season. They have a good quarterback that can spread the football around, and if they get the protection needed, because those guys can also make some room in the run game, that offense should be able to find that consistency for 4 quarters.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, I'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know going into it. It's a big Monday, dude. There's a lot going on this Monday. Everything you need to know going into your Monday, what people are going to be talking about. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
At Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420.
How is seeing folks crowd around a 5-inch computer screen better than watching low-to-low football on KGGM? How does Hawaii get to dictate the TV coverage at University Stadium? It's from Sid. P.S. Can we not schedule the flippin' Lion King at Popejoy at the same time? Same thing happens in 2 weeks against UNLV. Lion King had no effect on the Louisville football attendance. And I don't know how Hawaii dictated the coverage on this one. Do you? Usually the home team kind of gets to, and maybe Hawaii said, we want to bring our guys, and UNM said, fine, that's cool. Your guys are better than Jeff and George. I mean, that's probably what happened, I'm going to guess. You know, our guys stink, but we have nobody on.
I don't think that.
No, I don't, honestly, I don't know how that happened, Sid. How they I'm going to guess I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know how that happened. But was that better than it wasn't? It wasn't better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was better. You know, as far as finding a way to get the game, I can't tell you that. Ryan's in. Go Rangers. That is all. That's my contribution to the show today. Ha ha. Big game for the Rangers tonight. The Texas Rangers, not the New York Rangers. All right, here's what you got to know going into tonight. You get Monday Night Football right here at the Sports Animal. San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota Vikings. That is your game tonight. Do you know what the spread is tonight? Any idea?
San Francisco 8.5.
What do you got?
I think I saw it at 7.
7? 7's the number. 7's the number. So you get that here on the Sports Animal. You get the baseball today. 3:07. TBS will have it. Arizona and Philadelphia. That's the Diamondbacks and Phillies. If the Phillies win, they go to the World Series. If the Diamondbacks win, they force a Game 7. 6:03 over on Fox. Game 7. American League Championship Series. Houston and Texas. God, that's so weird. The Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. Winner goes to the World Series. I mean, it's literally that simple. Winner, take all. Who you got tonight? Will the home team finally win a game in the Rangers? It's the most bizarre thing. The road team has won 6 straight games. Home field advantage means nothing. Who wins tonight? You riding the trend, or are they going to buck the trend? I mean, you ride a trend until it's hot, but you're like, I mean, at some point it's got to bust, right?
You would think so, but I'm all in on the Rangers.
Are you all in on the Rangers? Why?
I grew up in Texas.
All right.
It's one of those fan things. I love their playing well. I love their bats.
Scherzer in Game 7. I mean, you got a bulldog on the mound, Christian Javier for the Astros. You like Scherzer tonight? That's why they went and got him, right?
Is this he got that last game out so he can get comfortable and back on the mound? I'll go Phillies Rangers.
I got Astros tonight. I'm not buying into Scherzer tonight. I mean, last outing was the first outing in 36
days,
right? And he wasn't good.
He looked bad. So that's a huge.
Why do I think he's going to be good tonight?
History. I mean, you just have good feelings about him, so you think he's going to show up at the biggest stage.
I mean, I love the competitor in that guy. I love his history. I love the history. I like
it's
everything.
all hands on deck.
It is all hands on deck.
If you're
It's
the
everything you
Rangers
got.
and you can get a couple runs early on Javier, Scherzer only goes 3 innings, and
then you're in good shape.
piece it together.
If that happens, then you're in really good shape. If you can get to Javier early, then you're in good shape. Yeah. Who do you trust more? This is a good watch tonight, man. I mean, with all due respect, and I love me some football. I'm watching the baseball.
Oh, I am too. I have been hooked on the playoffs this year.
No, the playoffs have been great. Diamondbacks and Phillies have been fun. The late inning comebacks in both of these series have been terrific. And it starts at 3:07 while I'm still at the office. I get baseball at work today.
All day baseball.
Yeah. All right, so that's what people are going to be talking about as you go through your day. And I mean, really, that's kind of the big stuff. If you're into the NBA stuff, when do they start? Tomorrow? The next day? When's the NBA season start?
Tomorrow.
James Harden's still not there. Why is that a headline to me? Do you care?
Yes.
Because I
I'm
don't.
Philadelphia.
I just don't. But okay.
I know.
If you're them,
there's
you
two
do,
different things.
Yeah.
Is this an actual storyline? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you care about James Harden as a fan? No.
So over
because
it.
this is an impactful player in Philadelphia's future, whether he plays or not, whether they get something back for him or not. And he said he's not playing for the 76ers. They need to figure something out because you have a player that should be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's Joel Embiid. You got a dude in the window right now, an MVP, and it is just drama like crazy around that man.
Yeah.
And it's not him; it's everything else.
He is turned into, in my view, one of the most unsympathetic figures in the NBA. This whole, woe was me, and like he's the victim, dude. You wanted your money, and so this is all about. He claims Daryl Morey promised him that he would trade him to the Clippers, right? And Daryl Morey couldn't. Daryl Morey's the general manager, the president. Daryl Morey didn't get equal value. Daryl Morey's job is to take care of his team, and so he couldn't get equal value back or something that made sense, and so he didn't trade him yet. And that's where Harden's all pissed off, right? Is that what I understand? Yeah. Okay. You opted out. Like, if you would have opted out of your contract, you could have gone and signed with the Clippers. But you opted in, and I get it, man. It was $37.5 million. I'm not in a position to walk away from $37.5 million either. If I got the option, do I want my $37.5 million, or do I not want $37.5 million? Tough choice. All right, I'll take 37.5. Now trade me. He is the most, and everywhere he's been, it's ended like this, right?
Yes, it has.
Where has it worked? Like, I don't know if I know what James Harden's voice sounds like, but it sure feels like he, right? No, honestly, what does he sound? Do you know what his voice sounds like? I mean, you kind of do, but it's not like he talks a lot. But boy, what he says and the whole, it's hard, man. It's hard. All right, Belichick, this will also be something that people will be talking about. Bill Belichick won his 300th game. 300. Now, it took a while to get there, but it's a big deal. They beat the Bills, did the Patriots yesterday. And he was asked about the milestone, and only 2 other coaches have ever reached this milestone. Bill, how do you feel about it? It's great. It's great. I'm really focused more on our team, and worry about that later. Thank you. I used to do a way better Belichick. I'm not feeling good right now. So it didn't. But he acknowledged it's a pretty big deal. How big of a deal? He's behind Don Shula at 347, George Halas at 324.
That's like a gigantic deal.
I think so too. I think so
300 NFL games?
I think so too. And that wasn't where he was getting 300, was it? I mean, he wasn't beating the freaking Bills.
The way they did it was opposite everything that they've done.
100%.
The offense is terrible. Mac Jones isn't good. The offense got going, and Mac Jones had a fourth quarter comeback with under 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Good stuff today, boys. And girls, for that matter. Thanks to Danny Gonzalez. He was with us today. If you missed it, you can listen to it. It's on our website or wherever it is you find podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is. I almost went 3 for 3, but I didn't. Is on at what Jim Rome Show, then Colin Cowherd at after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. Then you get Monday Night Football. It is the Vikings and the 49ers. And I believe we're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with more award-winning radio for you. Is that correct?
Yeah,
right,
I'll be here.
Great work. Adrian looks great. DC, terrific job. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and share. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Hey, you're up next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.